Richard. Washington, D.C., almost exactly 9 years ago today. It was a dark and stormy night. Young lady wearing all black and with black sunglasses stands in a doorway. She arrives early for the opening of Catherine Judkin's art show. Say hi, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
She sees in the far distance a vision, a handsome stud muffin with 2 bouquets of sunflowers in his arms. She says to herself, "Oh yeah." The handsome stranger passes her in the doorway and smiles over the golden blossoms and says, "Hello." He thinks, this is the one person I want to talk to. Of all the people he meets that night and the next day's wedding reception for Jen and Andrew. Say hi, Jen and Andrew.
Hi, Jenny.
She is the one person he will think of again and again. The 2 alluring strangers talk for a bit at the show and at a post-reception dinner. They each privately wonder to themselves, is this my kindred spirit? And to make a long story short,
Too late.
Both of them say goodbye without exchanging last names, addresses, phone numbers, or email. Can we make this a little harder, people? Many months pass, yet Sarah Beth and Yari just couldn't stop thinking about each other. They long to see each other again. And yet they have no clue how to find each other. We need a clue! Somebody please open up the second clue, please!
Open up the first, show the first letter.
Open me. It seems to be a lot of letters inside letters inside letters. So 8 years ago on a dark and stormy night,
Crash!
Yari couldn't stop thinking about Sarah Beth. Using his genius detective skills and 3 supercomputers welded together by torchlight, he spends hours, no days, analyzing what scant information he had managed to gather from their long-ago conversation. Sarah Beth had mentioned something about working at an octagon. No, not an octagon, the Octagon, a museum in Washington, D.C. He wrote a shy remember me letter and sent it to the Octagon. Only Sarah Beth didn't work in D.C. anymore. So the Octagon mailed the missive to her father. Hi, VG! But Sarah Beth was not there. Where the heck was she? She was at school in Virginia. So her father sent the letter to Sarah Beth, and to make a long story short,
Too late.
3 months later, she opened an envelope to reveal another envelope, to reveal yet another envelope. And within that innermost envelope was a letter from Yari. Overjoyed, she sat right down and composed a response on paper pressed with dried flowers and a bit of her favorite perfume for good luck. And all would have been well if the dang fool had actually been home to receive the letter. Yari was 2,988.2 miles away. And Sarah Beth's letter wound its way to the bottom of a large, dusty pile of mail sitting on his doorstep. 3 months later, on a dark and stormy night,
Crash!
Yari finally returned to San Francisco. While sorting through the bills and coupons and catalogs, he found a letter. A personal letter. A letter with an alluring scent. From Sarah Beth. He hesitated, opening it for a moment. So delicious was the anticipation. And Yuri would have written back right away. If only he could have deciphered Sarah Beth's atrocious scrawl. So, to make a long story short,
Too late.
using 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration and 3 internets tied together with string, Yuri tried every possible combination of letters and numbers and Muppets to discover Sarah Beth's correct email address, being teased and cheered on by friends all the while. He's still trying to figure it out. 7 years ago, on a dark and stormy night,
Crash!
Sarah Beth sat alone in her apartment in Virginia. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Who on earth would be out and about in this kind of dark and stormy weather? Well, I have no clue. Who has clue 3? Please enlighten us.
Clue number 3?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Clue number 3. Oh my. Bring those out in front of everybody.
Blueberry ice cream cones.